What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brennan. I'm BMX45, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have a meta deck discussion for the Digimon TCG. We're here going to be talking about the BT, well, I guess the 2.5 format, the continuing 2.5 format. As we get closer to BT21, we're going to be talking about what decks are topping, which ones are really great, which ones are doing very well, and how the meta is kind of culminating right now as we head towards the next set. And of course, as always, we're on the Eggman events page. He does a great job breaking this all down here. If we go down here, we can see we got a couple regionals back on March 31st. It took me a little while to find the stuff, but these are the last kind of events for the last big events for 2.5. And nicely, we had a North American regionals. We had the Pasadena regionals, as well as Mexico City had a regionals, and there was the TAC game ones as well. So we'll be looking at a couple of these and how they broke out here. We're just going to get into it and look at what the deck lists are and what the trends are. And hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. All right, well, let's get into it here. We got the Pasadena regionals. We'll look at that one here. 4 Royal Knight decks. That's quarter of the pie right there. 3 Leviathan X, 3 Gallant X, 2 Galaxy, 1 Green Blue Imperial, 1 Red Purple Imperial, 1 Sakuya, and a Digimon. So you got a bunch of different ones here. But yeah, the Royal Knights really took a lot of the spots. If you look back here, Blue Green Imperial won the whole thing, and it's got a pretty standard build. They've just gone now with the hit to this Stingmon. They've just gone back to 4 of this Stingmon, and then you throw things like Lydramon in, so you have multi-option colors, and so that's good. Yeah, and pretty standard build. Is focusing more, I think, on Hexablow and Medieval Gallant, with a little bit of focus on your Dragon modes. But yeah. No Paladin mode. That's actually something interesting. Still doing a return to the Progenitor. And the rookies are pretty standard. You have Leviathan X. Leviathan X is a deck that was good last year, or exactly around this time, and continued to have tops consistently. The decks never got hit. Really, I don't think, well, I mean, you could call Gabumon a hit, but I think that was before the deck even really shined on its own. But it's pretty standard, pretty budget deck to build. I mean, other than the Ruin modes, but Ruin mode has gone down quite a bit. And Anubis, lots of options. It's just standard build. Like, it hasn't changed too much since the last couple of formats. Of course, you have the new Royal Knights deck, which is a bit expensive because you have a lot of cards in this deck. Like, you have the Draze Supers, they're Drazel, King Drazel's a super. For just your egg, you got Secret Gallantmons, Secret Omnimon X-Antibody, Secret Omnimons, Super Cool Boys. There's a lot of stuff in here, a lot of supers, regardless if you're going alt or not. It's got all those big Royal Knight cards, the Mega Zoo deck. So this is kind of what we're looking at for that. I'd say this probably has a bit of an expense to it. If we continue down here, we have Red Purple Imperial. I'm liking the Salamon. I see a lot of people are too. I just find, it's better to go Salamon into him for 2 than to go on a Vmon for 3. So it's just another Warmon option, basically. And the security Digimon game minus 3000 DP is not bad either. But yeah, seeing basic builds, some, usually 4 of this, 3 or 4 of this, and then a couple of the reds, basically, depending on preference. The level 5s are pretty much the same. We're seeing 1 Dragon Mode Ace all the time. I don't know how I feel about the Demonic Disaster. I haven't seen any luck with it, so I haven't really been playing it, but I can see where it might be good. Even though you don't get the on-plays off security, the Wormmon gets its start of main. So yeah, or like even the Salamon gets the start of main, so you can put one of those on board if you hit it off security. I'm just not sure. Like, most of the time I'm ending my turn in this deck, so I'm not getting chances to use Calling or Demonic Disaster, so I'll have to see about that. Yeah. We also have, what do we got? We got Gallantmon. That's our first Gallantmon top. Pretty similar builds here. You know, preferences, everything here. You know, with your level 3s, like playing more or less of this, playing different Growlmons like this. There's a lot of similar stuff. Like you usually have 3 and 4 of this, or sometimes people are playing 3 of this and playing one of the War Growl Ace. Sometimes people are playing more of this guy because he's better to go into your Galmon X-Antibody. And then some people are playing Medievals, or some of the Warp Tocado. So just seeing preference is really the difference between this, and obviously skill level. We see Galaxy here. Galaxy's getting into same kind of stuff, more blue focus with a little bit of red. People are playing Apollomon again. Now people are playing Invisi. Of course, Digivolve is a great ability, so I understand that completely. Also playing the Gallantmon package as well as Omnimon X-Antibody. Still playing Paladin mode. Still playing Hexa and the one Mirage. Oh, Hexa in this deck's so good. I like the Homer Yushima. That's kind of cool. So it's changed a little bit. Not much, really. Didn't really get hit other than the Mirage. The Sakuyamon making tops is very interesting. Really low level 3 and level 4 count, even level 5. Really low count in general. It's funny, only one Sakuya X-Antibody. Maid mode's cool. Seeing maid mode in there's pretty cool. Ruin modes. Valderarm, the new Valderarm. And then you guys, I think people are like using Yellow Scrambles as another Digivolution plugin. We're only seeing like 2 Digivolution plugins getting paid. We're not seeing the jamming one. We're not seeing the we're not seeing the jamming one. We're not seeing the other one. What is it? The Security Attack Plus one. We're just seeing the Digivolution plugin, the Pause plugin. Blastfire is kind of cool. From BT1, making your opponent's Digimon make one of your opponent's Digimon DP to 3,000 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can delete them easily. Is actually pretty nuts, especially if you can play this card for free. But yeah, physical training and memory boosts and a couple of Rikas here. It's funny, only one of this Rika and like 3 of this one. But I guess you're not playing a lot of plugins, so you don't need to. Yeah, it's definitely pretty interesting. The way the deck has gone is completely different than what I thought it might have been. You also got Dominimon here. Dominimon, still a really great deck. Patamon, the Patamon security shenanigans are really good. You got Rapidmons, you got Cherubimon and Seraphimon Ace, which are really great cards. And then you have things like Chaos Valderarm, which you can make 2 stacks easy in this deck if you gain advantage. Plus you got all your ace cards, just tons of ace cards, and yeah, still a really good deck. And it makes tops every now and then. So that's it for that one. I also wanted to look at the attack one here, see the differences here. Again, Royal Knights, 4 Royal Knights again. Red, Purple Imperials did pretty well. They took a quarter of the spots too. With you got a couple Sakuyamon, Gallantmon, and then 1 Magnamon X, Ancient Garurumon, Fenrilugamon, and Galaxy. So that was kind of cool. You look Sakuyamon. This one's way different. The lineup is different. You're playing a lot of secure cards that summon off security, like Sukamon and Gatomon. Playing Starmons for protection, and playing no Kyubimons. Only playing the 4 Taumons. The Shakuamon's really cool, especially if you play these things off for free and get multiple monsters on the board. I mean, they play for pretty cheap, like 3 and 4, so it's whatever. And then you have things like Maid Mode Ace. Again, the BT17 and 19 Sakuyas are kind of the main focus, with a couple Maid modes and then a couple X-Antibodies. Again, seeing the Ruin modes and the Valderarm, and then not even focusing on any green plugins, just maxing out scrambles, trainings, amber memory boosts, and yellow memory boosts. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how they're going with that. But yeah, Shikuamon is definitely very interesting in the deck. And I mean, hey, it worked. They took first place. We got second place, red, purple, Imperial. Again, pretty standard rookie lineup. You see the difference in, he's not playing any of the Flame Dramon. He's just playing a couple of these guys and maxing out on them. Same level 5 lineup, except he's using the other Pile Dramon. And then most people are playing at least one Dragon mode. This guy's kind of cool, having the blue-green Fire Mode Ace in there. It's actually pretty cool. And then, again, I like the Karada. I was thinking about the Karada because I think it cycles your deck pretty good. So I was actually interested in the Karada because you only really need one mat. But other than that, it's a pretty standard build. You got Magna X, which is now playing a bunch of the Omnimon cards here. So, and Jesmon GX, Medieval Gallant, just trying to find better ways to stall your opponent. Basically, you got the Mega Seedramon. That's kind of a new way to kind of stun in this deck until you can get to your Magnamon, just because it's not as easy as before. You only have the one Blinding Ray, you only have the one Awakening of the Golden Knight, so you gotta be careful. Playing Cool Boys too, so kind of like a Magnamon Royal Knight build. I was interested to see what the difference was between the red-green Imperials. Oh, nice. Blast mode. Beelzemon Blast mode Ace. That's kind of interesting. So this is way different. Just playing the solid lineup. 3 and 3. Yeah, definitely interesting. Yeah. Not much of a difference there. Again, it's just all preference sometimes here. We have our Royal Knight build that topped, and it's what is it here? It is pretty similar. Same Omekamon lineup. They threw an Examon Ace in there, so that's different. This is pretty much the same. And of course, this is all the same right here. So there's some preference in what you run for your Royal Knights, basically. A little bit of preference there. But a lot of it's the same. Like, that's the same. Dynasmon needing a couple of those are pretty much the same. Of course, we have Gallant X. Again, we talked about this. This is all preference here. You see this guy's running more of this Guillaumon and running this Growlmon over the BT17 one. But a lot of the other stuff's the same here. He's running a couple of copies of these, but kind of like you said, 3 and 3 of these are kind of standard. Again, I talked about more people playing more of this, in which case they're playing less Gallant X, player no Protoform, and of course playing the BT17 Warp Tocado. So again, it's all preference, but the deck's good regardless. It's just how you play, how your play style is. Always play to your play style, because I think you do better that way than if you play against it just to play a deck that someone else did well with. It's my 2 cents on that. We already looked at Shikuamon. This person's actually playing some green plugins. I am interested in seeing like the differences here. Yeah, some differences, some not. What do we got? Royal Knights. Looked at Royal Knights. Ancient Garurumon. That was kind of cool. Again, using the red base with the Ukomons. And then, of course, just the standard, lineup. Other than that, also running Medieval Gallantmon. Also running the new Dual Tamer, which we didn't see this deck as much in the last format, so we didn't really get to see the changes that were BT18 brought, which of course would have been that dual tamer, which is really good because you can stack your guys that are, if you're missing any of your guys from your hand, you can stack them underneath that card, like stack the Lobomon and then stack the Kendo Garurumon and just go straight into Lobomon instead of doing the other thing. So it's interesting like that. And then plus if you can go up to like 4 memory too, that's always good as well. Yeah. And then we got, what else we got here? Got Fenrilugamon. I like Takumi Kazuchi's the picture because it's just solid Fenrilugamon. Yeah, like look at that. Like it's just the solid Fenrilugamon build. Going back to this now, using the new dual tamer, Code Cracker Fang, not using any EGs, any regular BT14 EGs, and using some of the BT20 stuff, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's definitely cool. And then lastly, we had another Galaxy deck. Looking at the Galaxy deck again. This guy is using a little bit more red, but mostly a blue build. He's got Jesmon. That's kind of interesting. Invisimon making more of an appearance. And then same with Hexablow and Mirage. And then kind of leaning into the Omni X a little bit and the Gallant X. So yeah, similar kind of build. Again, preferences as always. But yeah, that's kind of the meta right now. We're seeing Royal Knights do very well. We're seeing red, purple Imperial Digimon do decently well. Like it'll have a spot or a couple spots sometimes, depending on the format you're in. Levia X was doing really great. Gallantmon holding its own. Then you have those kind of outliers that do like one spot each, kind of like the Dominimon, Sakuyamon, although Sakuyamon did better in the attack regionals. But yeah, lots of different decks. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think that Royal Knights is going to be dominating for long, or maybe it's going to be like before? Royal Knights kind of was a bit of a dice roll deck, and once people learned how to play it, it became a lot easier, and I found it topped a lot less. But we'll have to wait and see. Some of these decks are really expensive. Like I would say, Royal Knights has a lot of expense to it. So does Magna X. Gallantmon a little bit less than that. Levia is actually probably a pretty cheap deck. And red, purple Imperial is expensive right now. Shadramon is nuts in pricing. But tell me what you guys think about this format. Do you think that a lot of these decks are fairly playable, or they're hard to get your hands on everything? And what do you think about the other decks, the ones that are just taking one or two tops there? Are they kind of the less expensive way for players to get in the door and potentially do well? So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts down below. As always, we'll continue to bring you meta deck discussions as we can. And hey, looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you in the next video. As always, have a wonderful day. And that's all for now, folks.